Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. I'm joined by Ben Foster. How you doing, Ben?
I'm good, mate.
Good to have you on.
It's good to be on,
mate.
mate.
Debut.
Yeah, I know.
So much content together. So, got Ben Foster on. Remind everybody the years you were at Manchester United, actually.
God, I don't even know, to be honest with you.
Wasn't the 90s, was it?
No, I'm not even that old, all right. I think it was 2006, 7 to maybe 2010. It was about 5 years. It was a 5-year period, anyway.
Prime Ronaldo, Rooney years.
Exactly, the big boys.
Years.
All of the big boys. Scholesy, Giggsy, Ronaldo, Ferdinand, Rooney. When I signed, actually, Roy Keane was just about to leave.
Yeah.
And we had just signed Edwin van der Sar as well.
Do you know the stories about why Roy Keane left, or can't you talk about
I know exactly what stories you're on about, but it does not surprise me either, because he could be a really, really intimidating person at times. Really intimidating.
Cool. Well, there's lots we can get into there, but we're going to talk about Manchester United first of all. You're wearing the kit that is no longer the kit that cannot be worn. We won at the weekend against Southampton.
In person, though, genuinely, isn't it a nice kit?
Yeah, it is.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Hard to watch.
I agree with you a little bit. When you're watching it on the telly, it's kind of, it does fade into the grass a little bit and it makes it hard to pick up. But no, I'm a fan of it, mate. It does. It's a nice kit.
This kit is going to be brilliant when it snows.
Yes. Then you'll see it, everything.
Which we don't get anymore because we've got the underhood.
Night games, I think it might be worse at night games, you know, because of the floodlights and stuff like that.
Floodlights and lots of sun.
Yeah.
Makes it very, very difficult.
It does make it difficult, yeah.
What did you think about United at the weekend? Just start off with that.
Yeah, I thought they're okay. It was, I think the key thing is to get the result and to get the win, and to win ugly sometimes is a skill in itself. And I think a lot of teams have done it this season already. So, you know, Tottenham did it this weekend, they did it last weekend, Arsenal did it this weekend. Just to get over the line and to do it dirty takes a different set of skills, if you know what I mean. It takes a bit of experience, it takes a bit of nous. And I think United actually showed that at times on Saturday. Southampton were decent. I think that Southampton will be all right this year. But it's a good result away as well, especially given United's track record away from home recently. It's a good win, really good win.
Bit of stability for United, 2 wins. But look, it's the final few days of the transfer window. What are your thoughts on Manchester United's squad as things stand now? Anthony's just about to come in. We covered that last night. Casemiro's coming in the last few days. What's your thoughts on the overall summer? Do you think United have delivered? Do you think it's good enough for the season ahead?
I think they're still maybe another player short. I think the new signing, £100 million, it's a lot of money, an awful lot of money. And I think if you'd have done that earlier in the season, it's a lot cheaper, maybe even half as cheap, genuinely half as cheap. But Casemiro, I think signing somebody like Casemiro, I know it's a lot of money again, and the wages are incredible, but that level of player, that experience, it's almost like, you know, the Arsenal signings, so Zinchenko and Gabby Jesus, yeah? They're different players for sure, but having that kind of experience of player and a winner, and somebody that's been there, done it, seen it, been around the big players, know how they work, know how they operate on the training field. Exactly, proven. Having those kind of players around you raises the level. It does. So in training every single day, the level of professionalism would have gone up a little step. The level of intensity, the making sure everything's done properly. Casemiro brings that, and I think it's a fantastic sign. I was a little bit shocked, actually, that he didn't start on Saturday, because I understand why. It's a new signing, and, you know, you've just beaten Liverpool and you want to go with the same starting lineup, but it's Casemiro, you know. I think just put him in.
You've been around a lot of teams. How does that work? You know, late transfer window, a world-class player comes in like Casemiro, a player like Anthony with a lot of potential from a weaker league.
Yeah.
Those two players come into the training ground. You've been training, you've played 4 games already. In your experience, how do those sort of players come in? Does a Casemiro walk in and like, look, I know what I'm doing, I'm going to hit the ground? And does an Anthony come in and be, you know, maybe a bit arrogant? Or do they sort of suppress themselves and sort of, you know, survey the scene? And
I think Anthony
squad
looks,
dynamics.
Yeah, I think Anthony looks the kind of guy who might need a little bit of kind of humbling. Not humbling in a bad sense. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he looks like he's got a bit of arrogance about him.
Which is what we want, isn't it?
Exactly, but you also don't want it to go too far. Do you know what I mean? When you play for someone like Man United, you still need to have humbleness about you. You know, the past teams that actually would win things had a lot of humbleness. They wouldn't be doing so much stuff out of football. It would just be business first, get on with it, and that's it. So as long as he's doing the business on the pitch and he's being humble off it, not being arrogant, rude to staff members, all that sort of... Because you see that as well. You sign some players, they think they're the big man, they're on a couple $100 grand a week. They think they can talk to people and treat people how they want. As long as he's not that guy, he's going to be a good signing. But somebody like Casemiro, he just walks into that building, everybody straight away looks at him with this respect, absolute respect. And I guarantee you, Casemiro is kind of a dream signing in terms of how he's looked after. So the staff will know that they haven't really got to ask him to go in the gym. They haven't got to ask him how to look after himself. He's in his 30s. He knows how to do that. And players like that, they're a dream, honestly.
I think it'll be interesting because obviously Anthony, Ten Hag, they've got that relationship, and you would hope we've seen that with Martinez, that trust and relationship makes it easier to transition from going into a manager that you don't necessarily know.
I'd say as well, can I just quickly as well, if I would worry that, well, I don't worry, that's the beauty of it. I think because Ten Hag knows Anthony, he knows what he's like, not only as a player but as a character, the fact that he's willing to make it a him signing, it's a Ten Hag signing, it's a lot of money. He must know what he's getting. He knows what he's getting from this, so he knows what he's like as a bloke, what he's like in the dressing room, and he knows what he's like on the pitch.
Well, it's different to another Brazilian, isn't it? Like Richarlison, who Conte's bought, looks good, but he hasn't worked with him before. So you're like, oh, he looks good. And like you say, the Anthony Ten Hag thing, they've basically spent 2 months apart in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be really good. Last few days of the window then, one player I did want to talk to you about, Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, you've trained with Cristiano Ronaldo for a few years. There's a lot been written about Ronaldo over this summer. He apparently is going to come out and say that 95% of it is inaccurate. How do you read this Ronaldo situation? I've never met the guy, I've never trained with him, but I'm a big fan of Ronaldo and I defend him and I say, look, he's done it in a United shirt. This United Ronaldo is very different to what he was before. Yeah. If he says this club's lacking ambition, this club's lacking ambition. But one thing I've always said is that he won't lack professionalism. He might not want to be at United anymore, but he's not going to turn up and not train. Is that a fair reflection based on your knowledge? And what do you think United should have done with Ronaldo over the summer?
I'm the same as you. I'm a huge Ronaldo fan. From my time at United, he was the consummate professional, but a good lad as well. Not big-headed, not ego, honestly. Like the Ronaldo you see on the pitch at times, and the Ronaldo you read about in the column inches would paint him as a big, hot-headed kind of, it's all got to be about. And he wasn't that guy, honestly, he really wasn't. He just liked to do his business. He was very personable, he was chatty, all that kind of stuff. He was a good guy. I totally agree with what he said, though, about the 95% thing. That's the way it is. It's just column inches. People know that whatever they write about Ronaldo, good, bad or indifferent, it's going to get views and it will get clicks, and that's what they want. And I think it's gotten to a point where Ronaldo has become such a big character now, maybe not necessarily actually in the changing rooms, but he is so famous and he's so well known that I think it actually detracts from the other players a little bit. So
you can sense that. I don't know what you know about that or whether you've experienced that in a dressing room yourself, but you do sense that. Even after the game on Saturday when we win, there's column inches about Ten Hag's had enough of Ronaldo. Certain players have had enough about Ronaldo. And, I know footballers, you know a lot more footballers. It is a competitive sport, and it's an ego sport. An ego sport.
But this is the problem. This is what I'm about to come on to, where I think this is now the time where it's probably right for Ronaldo to go. And it's a shame to say it, because I don't think he's done anything wrong. I really don't think he's done anything wrong. But if he's not going to be in the starting 11, which I don't think he is going to be, because he's not really a Ten Hag type player. He wants everybody to work in, like, I say it as like a cog system, where you've got each different component and they work and it works properly. And because if one fails, the rest of the team fails. And that's what it is. Ronaldo's not going to be that guy who's going to shut down and chase and all that kind of stuff. But he will score you goals, yeah? But at the top level of football nowadays, teams don't work like that. They work in a proper formation, a cog system. So if he's not going to be in that starting 11 and he's going to be sat on the bench, I think it's too much of a circus. It's too much of a media circus, and players will get a little bit annoyed about it because it's an ego sport where they still want to be the top guy. So if they're starting and they're scoring goals, they want the column inches about them, but it's still going to be about Cristiano Ronaldo because he didn't start and he only got 20 minutes. So I think, unfortunately, and it's going to be a shame for the Premier League, not just for United, for the Premier League, Ronaldo's time looks like it might be up.
And that's what annoys me, because we're talking about Anthony in the final days of the transfer window, we're talking about Ronaldo. We've had 3-4 months to do this, and we've had Eric Ten Hag saying he's not for sale, he's part of my plans, love the player, he's part of my plans. And then the last few days, United fans were sat here going exactly what you've just said there. This really probably should have ended 2 months ago, which is exactly when Ronaldo wanted it to end. And now you get these column inches, which are basically, I believe, the Glazers and Richard Arnold and the Merters of this world trying to make fans go, get him out of our club,
Yeah.
which is completely wrong because he is a legend of the club and it didn't need to be like that. I mean, by all accounts, he probably said to them in June, I want to go. And the club said, you're not for sale. 2 months later, we probably do need to sell him. How do we make this look good? And you can't.
You can't. This shouldn't, like, this. We're talking about Man United, bear in mind, right? How the heck it's got to the point where you're waiting for last-minute transfers in, you're waiting for last-minute transfers out. I'm sure Tottenham did this like for the last 10 years. Do you know what I mean? Do you remember back in the day, Tottenham would not buy anybody, and then all of a sudden they'd sell Dimitar Berbatov, or they'd sell their best player on the last day of the transfer window. And it's like
to have a good season.
Exactly, yeah. But so the teams that are proven of doing it right, like look at this summer, for example, Man City, Arsenal, people like that, Tottenham, even Tottenham this season have got it bang on right. They've done it early doors. Like each transfer you never really heard about until it was done. It was like it would be in the paper one day, by the next day it's already done. That's exactly what Man United need to be doing. They can't be leaving it this late in the transfer because not only do the fans get absolutely peed off by it, but the transfer prices then just go out of the window. Out of the window. 100 million for Anthony is a joke, honestly. It's too much money. He's going to be a player, for sure, but you could have got him for 50, 60 million 2-3 months ago.
And I think people don't, there's some United fans going, I don't care, Glazers take the money out of the club. But the reality is, if you'd paid £50 million instead of £85 million, that £35 million can buy you the second midfielder. It can buy you Gakpo.
Yeah.
And I was going to say that there can't be a lot of money left for United now. Whether Ronaldo stays or goes, I still think they need a forward. But if Ronaldo goes, they do.
Yeah.
And what's your thoughts on, Chelsea as well? Aubameyang, Memphis are now being mentioned. Do you not think that that's just Cavani again? It's
a backward step. I do. It's a
desperation.
It's a desperation thing. We've basically missed all the targets we should have sorted earlier in the season, and now we need a stopgap. We need to plug it. We need to plaster over. Aubameyang, I think I understand it. I can see it, but he's 32 years old. United have done this every year, by the way. They've done literally every other season. They've done this by signing these older players. And it's never really worked. Ibrahimovic a little bit, I'd say, probably worked a bit. But they never really worked. You may as well do it properly. Get Gabby Jesus. Oh my God, why on earth have Man United not tried to sign Gabby Jesus? At the end of the season. I know it is, but still, do you know, if you can offer £10 million more than Arsenal, it's an absolute no-brainer. £40 million is absolutely nothing for somebody like Gabby Jesus. I do. I wonder who is in charge of identifying these players and how they go about their business, because for me, they're doing it in the wrong way.
And the goalkeeper situation, not sure you've had a call from Man United yourself, but
no, sorry.
Dubravka, I feel I need to talk about this because it's the big story at the moment now that Anthony's out of the way. Dubravka's going to come in for a season with I don't know why there's a $5 million buy option because they're absolutely not going to buy him. He's just going to be a one-year loan. What's your feeling on that, Dubravka? Do you think he really can push De Gea, or do you think he's just sitting on the bench ahead of Tom Hinton?
That's what it is. I think they're so heavily invested into David De Gea. I'm a big David De Gea fan, by the way. I like him, and I think we've seen in the last couple of games he's got back to basics and got back to knowing what David De Gea is about, and that is stopping the ball going in the back of the net. Because as a shot stopper, he's world class. Playing it out from the back isn't his forte. So don't even bother. Do you know what I mean? Don't risk it in a game where you know you're not so good at it anyway. Don't do that. And he's learned to just kick it long, and it's simple as that. Everybody's on the same page then. Martin Dubravka's going to come there and he'll be a backup, and it's as simple as that. And I think it might probably suit David De Gea that a little bit. Whether David De Gea is this kind of goalie where he needs to know he is the outright number one for his own confidence. Do you know what I mean? He goes into games knowing I'm the outright number one. But when you've got the likes of Dean Henderson sitting behind him, who kind of scratching away to, I want to play, I think that might affect David De Gea a little bit. Do you know what I mean? When there's always noise about it and it's in the press, all that kind of stuff. Whereas I think Dubravka's going to be there. He's going to know his role as number 2. Tom Heaton's number 3. That's it, set. David De Gea can focus on just playing first team football.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if he's the goalkeeper next year. And just on United, what do you think the season ahead is for United? Do you think these transfers make any difference? Do you think United can get top 4? Or do you think that's still unrealistic?
If you'd have asked me this 2 weeks ago, it's the most unrealistic thing ever. No chance. And I think you'd agree with me as well.
100%, yeah.
But I honestly think that the signing of Casemiro is the big one. Yeah. For sure, yeah. Anthony's going to be great, and he looks like he's a baller, and he's going to play, he's going to be flary, all that kind of stuff. But you need more leaders, and Casemiro's for me is the guy that's going to be a leader. Yeah, he'll go in at first, and he'll be the consummate professional. But eventually, it will come time where people will start to look up to him and look to him to be the leader and the winner and all that kind of stuff. And I think that is the bit that you're buying. Yeah, not only a player, but you're buying that experience and that winning. So top 4, it wouldn't surprise me. Genuinely, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. I like the way that they beat Southampton. I did, because it's ugly and it's dirty.
You build on a strong defence.
Exactly, yeah. And the defence, I've got to say as well, Malacia at left back looks an absolute ball. And I've been very critical of Lisandro Martinez as well so far. I fully don't believe that his height is enough. I think he needs to be taller. But he's got this dirty little aggression about him, right? And I've seen it in a few games now where he's nasty. And I love that. And you need nasty players. You do. I'll take a nasty player in my team all day long. You don't like playing against that. So I think, genuinely, there's a chance. Genuinely, there's a chance.
I'll tell you what, games are won on defence. And I've had a nightmare of Fantasy Premier League this weekend. But just came into my head there, and I think I've mentioned it before. Games are won on defence. I remember, God knows how many years ago, I'd never do this. And I had 3 players from one team all in defence.
Oh, that's rookie.
It was you in goal, Roger Johnson and
Birmingham.
Scott Dan at Birmingham, was it? Dan?
Yeah.
Because you used to get clean sheets every week.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, that season.
Literally built on clean sheets.
That season, we kept 10 clean sheets at Birmingham that year. And even if we didn't keep a clean sheet,
You'd still be man of the match.
You'll be getting save points, you'll be getting bonus points, you'll be getting all that kind of stuff. But that is so rookie, Mark. You're better than that. You can't have 3 defenders from the same team.
I used to really be good at Fantasy Premier League.
That's
I had a job I didn't like, and I'd spend hours a day analysing everything. Whereas now I'll just start 5 minutes before Salah caps in.
Do you know what having 3 defenders in your team is? It's akin to having an early football match on an accumulator. Yeah. Because as soon as a goal goes in, load of shit, I'm done. I'm not watching it anymore. Load of crap. That's what it is.
Well, look, it's great to have you on. The one thing I did want to ask, because we want to just delve into a bit of the United thing. I don't know whether you can say it, but when you were back training with United, what player stood out to you in training? Because training in the week is different to performing on the weekend. Was it the Ronaldos and the Rooneys, or was there somebody that was really stood out in training as...
Do you know what? It was everybody stood out in the week in training. This is
standard.
The level was so crazy intense, and Alex Ferguson would drive it to be like that every single day. So even like I've spoke about before on the Sunday's the worst day of training, right? So normally the players that train on a Sunday are the ones that have been left out of the squad. Yeah, the bomb squad basically we call it. And it would be players that are annoyed that they haven't played. They might be coming back from injury, so it might be a chance to throw them back in. Either way, it's not a happy atmosphere. People are annoyed, right? But even on a Sunday, the level was outrageous because Alex Ferguson was the first one into the changing ground, and he would be at the side of the pitch watching as normal. And when Alex Ferguson is there watching, everybody is on it, 110%. So if you had that on a Sunday, you had to have it on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And that's what it was. It was just constant, relentless, that level. Couple it with the fact you've got the consummate professionals in the team, Gary Neville, even players like Phil Neville. You don't understand how consummate professionals raise the level of everything. This is what I'm talking about, Casemiro. Behind the scenes, he's invaluable to Man United. So yeah, there was nobody that would have chance to really stand out because everybody was on it.
Brilliant. Okay, thanks for coming on, Ben. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure, mate.
Thanks for watching the United Stand. Smash a like, get your comments in below. Big shout out to Ben Foster, and we'll speak to you soon.